Greetings YouTube, Remarkable Republican here to bring you the truth with a truth-flavored bias. Today I'm playing Risk on Sega Genesis. This has a very specific purpose. What I want to show is that through a sort of on-the-job training with even games, the average person can develop an appreciation of strategy. A person can become an expert on military affairs by practicing them at some basic level. Now, it's a common criticism, and a very dumb one, that Donald Trump, due to his lack of direct experience in foreign affairs, would be unable to get things done. In this game, I'm playing as the Blue, and I will show you how to win at Risk. I think if someone like Trump were to watch this video, he would learn a great deal about strategy and tactics. Now, Trump is a very quick learner, as many people know. And I think that if he even had someone like me who enjoys learning about military stuff, that he could make a fine commander-in-chief, and that his skills as a negotiator and businessman would really serve him well and enable him to be a very successful commander-in-chief. So let's look at what I'm doing here. Now, a lot of people do what is called the douchebag Australia strategy. It's a good strategy, but here I'm showing that there are multiple ways to win a game. So I prefer the Madagascar strategy, and I try to back that up by having Japan and hopefully something in South America. I also seized Iceland. It was a bit of an experiment and a gamble, but it ends up paying off relatively well, as you'll see. I actually only make a couple of mistakes in this entire game. I feel like I, did a pretty masterful job, all things considered. Anyway, I'm not going to be offering commentary for this entire video because I'm recording the commentary afterwards rather than as I go through. So I will be fairly selective. A lot of this will just be the game playing through. The reason why I chose the Sega Genesis version of the game rather than, say, the PlayStation version or the Super Nintendo version is because Sega is supposedly the system of the people. It was the thing that black and Hispanic kids played. So I know that, even somebody who couldn't afford a Nintendo could still afford Sega because, nobody's parents were so poor that they couldn't afford Sega unless it was Kenny from South Park. So I'm going to shut up now, and I'll come back later when something interesting happens. So right now it's just the AI blowing each other up, and it's sort of a boring waste of time. Finally, it's a man's turn again and not some AI bullshit. So now I'm going to deploy my men, and the opportunity has arisen for me to do what I denounced earlier, the douchebag Australia strategy. And what this shows is that as a commander-in-chief, you have to be flexible. I didn't want to go this route because South Pacific is pretty much useless in terms of giving you stuff. But hey, you know, it is an area that will produce more men, and it'll be easy to defend, and for the most part, for whatever reason, I've been completely ignored by my enemies. So they haven't seen the wisdom of what I did in seizing Madagascar and other areas. Now, I am good enough at this game that even if they had seized everything except for Madagascar, I would still be in fine shape for winning the game. As it is, they more or less handed me the game this turn. Now, obviously I still will have to struggle, and as you'll see later, many of my armies will end up shitting the bed, as this unit is doing right now. I tend not to be super lucky. The point, though, is that if you're a good strategist and a good commander-in-chief, you don't need to rely on luck. Your strategy will carry you beyond luck. Look at what Robert E. Lee accomplished in the Civil War. He wasn't that lucky. Stonewall Jackson got shot. Robert E. Lee himself almost got shot. Longstreet went down, although that ended up being a good thing. You know, he was not all that lucky, and his army was never well fed. But because his ideas were good, he was able to constantly win and constantly get things done. And I think that Donald Trump, with his judgment, could pull off the same thing. Now here I was dithering a little bit. I wanted to follow up because that's the normal thing to do. But I decided to keep my concentrations in the corners of South America and Africa, and also Japan, and then wait for the AI to keep bashing themselves up, and then I'll figure out which one I'm going to reinforce and go with the opportunity that presents itself. Because that's how you act if you're a president or a commander or a business leader. It's something that Donald Trump in general understands, but he'll need to practice before he becomes commander-in-chief, and I think that, you know, this game is actually a fine way of preparing him for the duties of the presidency. So I'll shut up now, and I will come back and As a result of my previous play where I was doing well and I made good decisions, I'm now in a position where I can use my new reinforcements to build up a decent army and get some shit done. So I decide to go for South America. It's a little stronger, and also I have my holdings in Africa, and if I really want to secure South America, I'll need an army to hold that border up at Venezuela, but I'll also have to be secure from attack from Africa. So I will need my Madagascar army to penetrate out and take the Western African province. So this is an example of knowing what you need and accomplishing it through coordinated action, making sure that all of your troops are doing what they're supposed to do. This is something that every great general has managed to do. And in his business ventures, Donald Trump has coordinated his interests well in the past and gotten done what needs to be done. So I think that Trump is watching this right now, that he'll see things that are familiar to him, that he'll see a strategy that makes sense, something that he could use internationally in order to advance America. And the Green faction played themselves out very foolishly, not surprising considering that this is, the same color faction as the Green Party, a party which has never won anything, either in America or in, even the UK, where it's very liberal. So, Bernie Sanders' brother apparently is a Green Party guy in Britain, and even in liberal-ass Britain, you can't get anything done. So what does that tell you? So here I did get pretty lucky. I did take the chance to finish off green because you can get cards that way and that'll give me more reinforcements in the future. So I took the risk, and here, I only had one shot in order to secure West Africa and secure my flank for my South America concentration, and I managed to pull that off. Again, strategy at work. It's like poetry. I will shut up now and return in due time. It was at exactly this moment in the game when I realized that the purple would be my most determined enemy and that they could present the biggest threat. So They are effectively the China of the game, and interestingly enough, they do control, China. Although it would have been more appropriate had China been yellow for obvious reasons, but purple is close enough. China's communist, and purple is a color for the commie queer agenda. So good enough. And of course, the pink or salmon or whatever the fuck they are, they shit the bed again. They do really poorly in this game. This particular game. There I lost Iceland. That was pretty painful. I expected that to hold better. And the danger now is that you have too much concentration by enemies in powerful continents where you have a lot of dowdy fighting men. But fortunately in this game, the qualities of Northern Hemisphere soldiers are not taken into account. So it is unrealistic in that sense, where, say troops raised in America aren't at a +2, and troops raised in, say, Mongolia or Europe aren't at a +1. So here I'm trying to cash in for the first time and get some extra troops. So I don't actually know how these hands work. But anyway, I did get some troops that I needed in Madagascar. I'll have to shuffle them out later during my movement phase. But for now, I have the opportunity to take the offensive. And what I really don't want is for Yellow Peril to conquer all of North America, because North America is one of the most powerful spots. Purple could also overrun Asia, so I have to reinforce Japan. My other option was to reinforce Siam. Obviously the Middle East is unholdable because of where it's at on the map. And I need to finish to reclaim Africa, but to hold Africa in this game, you also need to control Southern Europe and Western Europe, and the Middle East if you can. I took a chance here and decided to just go 2-1, the minimum to win these, and that was not something that paid off. I made a mistake here. I should have realized that I needed more force in order to do that. So I did screw that up. But, in the end, spoiler alert, I win because I'm the good guys. I made the right decisions, I followed my strategy, and everything worked out. But it was a pretty painful rebuff. Anyway, on to my main campaign. So let's watch me kick some ass in the Americas. Here, I'm basically like the conquistadors. I'm just rolling right up the Americas. And, the George Washingtons and George Pattons of the world were not present for this. Otherwise, they would have put up a better resistance. I pretty much just raped these guys. Here, my army shits the bed again. I guess, the Blue faction appointed Braxton Bragg over my dead body. And, made sure that my offense stalled before it needed to. So I decided, in order to help myself, I would use my Japan army and take a risk of losing the corner position in order to attack Alaska. And unlike real life, Alaska doesn't have resource wealth that can help you out. So if I had this to do over again, I would have probably put the hurting on the purple faction. You'll see later on they have a little run at things, and it's annoying as all fuck. Here I also got overconfident. I should have just left well enough alone. But, sometimes you do overreach. It's just human nature. And again, my strategy was extremely good, so it doesn't really matter if I make a few tactical errors here and there. Strategy trumps tactics, as many businessmen can tell you. And I'd like to think that someone who's studied a lot of Donald Trump and other great business leaders, that I'm a pretty good businessman, and if there were ever a smoking war, I think I would make a good commander. I think I've got the right judgment and temperament to, lead armies and make these kind of grand strategic decisions. So here my army once again lets me down. So I was being sarcastic earlier about, the conquistadors, because obviously the conquistadors kicked a lot of native ass. So that was disappointing, but now I can move my troops out of Madagascar onto the mainland. And because I'm doing well enough in Africa, that means that my corner pocket position in Madagascar has paid off. I also will securely hold on to South America for the rest of the game. One of my enemies has a great opportunity to deprive me of it, but they bungled it pretty badly. Anyway, So now we see the yellow making a comeback up in North America. This is obviously a bad thing for me. But, you know, they attacked the red, so it ended up working out. And anyway, you can pretty much figure out what's going on for yourselves. I'm going to peace out for a little while and then come back when things get real. Alright, I'm back. So let's see what I got in terms of reinforcements. I get 10 new armies. I don't have enough cards yet to cash in. But I can make good use of these armies. I'd like to have more, obviously, but, you know, I can make do with 10. So my number one priority, I gotta decide, do I want to try to tackle the Americas or secure Africa? I also have to shore up my base in Asia, because obviously my Australia corner could be taken over. But I decided to put in for Africa. I think that was my number one priority. I think I, chose correctly. And I decided to actually try to do my conquest from Alaska, because my idea was to loop around and cut off the Americas from Europe. However, I didn't have enough strength to put in that army, and I ended up making a token sacrifice to try to hold Asia. But the truth is, that was sort of me compromising with myself. I shouldn't have done that. I should have left that extra army in Alaska. So, it's just like one thing I hope that President Trump understands when he takes office is that compromising with the Democrats is a street that goes nowhere. Every time you compromise with them, you end up just reinforcing socialism, whether you intend to or not. So I'm gonna go to. I was having trouble with the D-pad, not used to playing on Sega. Sega was not a system I played as a kid. I played Super Nintendo and TurboGrafx 16, the good system of the 16-bit era. So now my main front in Africa, so I got to go to the Congo. I actually don't think Congo should count for territory in this game, because if you look at the Congo for real, what has ever come out of the Congo except maybe AIDS and genocide? The Congo, and also, like, the only famous person I can name from the Congo who's famous in a positive light is Serge Ibaka of the Oklahoma City Thunder. And he's not even that good of a player. He's declined pretty considerably. He's supposed to be the shot blocker for the Thunder, but he doesn't even do that worth of shit. I think it just speaks volumes about what you get out of the Congo, and that is not much. Now here, my Congo army, they probably all had malaria or some other black person disease, like sickle cell or some bullshit, and they failed. I wish there was a more advanced version of this game where the quality of the troops from each region was realistic. Because obviously, those armies that you can take over the Far East with are not very high quality, and they're just there for map control. So if you do some sort of douchebag thing like I ended up doing with Australia, you should be penalized for it in some way. And I think that'd be the way to do it. But anyway, you know, those kind of extra complications aren't represented in this game, although I think that they should be. And I think that, like, if there was a super risk, that'd be a really good way for, you know, Donald Trump to get his feet wet and making strategic decisions in the military context. Anyway, I'm going to fade out once again and let you enjoy the game while, you know, and I'll jump in my meeting again. So here what we see is the defense of Vietnam. So in my last thing, I used my reinforcement phase to move troops to Vietnam, or Siam, whatever they call it. And that ended up being probably the smartest move I made all game. Because it turns out that this game did simulate the power of the Vietnamese jungle at reducing invaders. So here you have the army from China that comes to get fucked, and then the Indian army shows up and they also get fucked. So, go Team Blue. Go Big Blue, I guess, if you want to use the Kentucky motto. Alright, I'm out. So I'm back and I have every troop on the map who is black, and I'm ready to rock. So now I gotta decide where to go. Well, obviously I gotta solidify Africa and put a stranglehold on it so I can benefit from holding it. And also I think it's time to take North America, so I built up a pretty formidable army there and get to work. Now the danger I was kind of blind to was the problem that Purple had so much continuous territory. So I didn't do nearly enough to stop them. Now I do reinforce my army of Siam or Vietnam, or whatever you want to call it, but I should have done more, and I regret that decision. But, you know, all's well that ends well, I suppose, right? So first, let's secure Africa. Egypt falls like a domino. The Egyptians, they were brilliant people, but they've never been very good at warfare. Let's be honest, they just aren't. Now there comes the question, do I go to the Middle East, then secure Europe? Or do I go straight into Europe and let my Siam army do the dirty work? In retrospect, I wish I had done a little less cautious and swept through the Middle East first, but hey, you know, like I said, you can afford some tactical errors as long as your strategy is fundamentally sound. So, Western Europe, just like Eastern Europe, put up no fight, which is pretty preposterous. At the bare minimum, those areas should be very defensible. I mean, even the Arab hordes failed to totally overrun Western Europe. Now, this was a risk. I decided to go 6-on-4 against the Brits, and it's turned into a bloodbath, as you see. So it became uneven odds, and I took the edge, and I eventually won. Now, it's a risk that paid off, and sometimes you do have to take risk, as in business. The only way to get ahead is to take risk. And I think there I decided to leave well enough alone and move on to my other fronts. And I feel pretty confident about what I did there. I've secured Africa, but now it's time to make some major gains in the eastern United States, which includes the South, the area which produces the best soldiers in the world. It also includes Texas there, which is the absolute best place. No troops were ever better than the Texas Rangers in the Civil War. Or Civil War era. They actually predate the Civil War a little bit. So now it's time to take out the Canucks. And the only obstacle there, obviously, is the terrain. I mean, Canadians have never been known for their martial qualities despite being fairly pure-blooded Caucasians. Let's go to Alberta, where it's pretty much a shithole. Took it, so it's like Alberta is, basically the Washington state of Canada. Now we're going to go to Northwest Territory, which is basically the Alaska of Canada. Some shittier. Took it. So I've conquered a lot of territory, and the only thing I've gotten from it was timber, but, based on the rules of this game, that means that I am kicking ass. This actually went better than I thought it would. I thought I'd be unlucky, and I thought that I'd have a lot of problems gaining all that land, but as it turns out, I had a good general in charge. Maybe I finally got my patent, and he went to work and put in some effort for me. Now here, I got a little cocky. I decided to go 3-on-2. Pretty risky, but hey, armies keep performing. So now I got 2-on-1. Can I do it? Fuck no. But hey, it was an honorable legacy, and that North American army really went to work for me. And, then I felt cocky, so I'm like, well, my British army also did well, and they can follow it up by conquering, Germany and Poland, and they do. So, now I've got yellow on the rope, so I want to attack from Siam and get over to Scandinavia to finish them all. I should have done China, Afghanistan, Ukraine, Scandinavia. But I decided to go a slightly different route in order to have my guys as near the front as possible. Now China, it falls like a stack of cards, which is unrealistic. China historically has been very difficult to conquer. They have an ancient and advanced culture. Going to India was not wise. Right here it paid off, and I began to feel a little cocky. I thought, you know what? I can do the long march, take a lot of territory with me. And I started to go to the Mideast because it connects all my shit. And, sure, I picked up like 1 million extra terrorists in the area who are going to be a pain in the ass from Empire. But this game doesn't simulate that. And also, in theory, I should have access to oil. Now, going to Afghanistan here, total retard move. I should not have done that. Up to this point, I can justify everything I did, but the move into Afghanistan was a bit retarded. Now I'm going to the Ukraine. And this is fucked up. I mean, we just saw a war involving Ukraine. We know that they can't fight 4-on-1 and succeed as well. Now, they destroyed twice their number before they fell, but they did prevent me from delivering the coup de grace to the Yellow forces, who have been my sworn enemies. Now, at this point, you probably think, hey, Remarkable Republican has won. His strategy is successful. And, yeah, I mean, look, I'll admit this was a pretty smart strategy. But you'll see now that what's coming up is a major disappointment for me, and it was something I could not have possibly anticipated. And we'll talk about how a leader like Trump will have to learn to deal with unanticipated problems that are not his fault. So, as you see here, for whatever reason, the purple faction has hit the lotto. they just gained 18 new armies for literally no reason. And they put them in the Urals, which should run into supply problems. It's like nobody lives there to provide food or women or anything else to the army. And now they're going to run amok. They're going to run all over the damn place. So now they're getting lucky. My troops aren't able to get a shot off. And luckily, they decide to just ruin my whole empire and fuck up all of everything and delay the game unnecessarily. This is like, you know, Ted Cruz still being in the race at this point. He's already lost, but he won't admit it. Now, I don't know why they stopped. They could have done better, and I thought that they had wasted their one and only chance to fuck me over. So I was feeling pretty good. You know, time to go finish off the yellow. And I can also probably finish off these purple people. But as we'll see, the cards in this game are a wild factor. They heavily favor teams that suck, like the purple. So even though it looks like I'm in a good position to win it all right here, that is not what happens. So I also again made a stupid compromise by reinforcing the failure down in the Pacific. I should have just let them have the corner, taken everything else, and then pounded it into the corner. But I did not. I made a bad decision. I showed mercy, and that was nearly my undoing at the hands of the evil purple faction. You know, like the Harkonnen faction of this game. So now I have a good, solid army in Scandinavia to back up my army in Russia, and my army in Russia is ready to go and do some damage. I also have the yellow card, so next turn, in theory, I should be well off. So now it's time for the Russian conquest. Now, historically, no army coming out of Russia has ever done well, but hey, you know, they've never had me as their commander, so this is going to be different. And now I'm sweeping through Asia like a knife through butter, except apparently my men shoot like Yankees. So, there we go. Got him. So I knew at this point, yeah, I'm not going to get a nice overrun, but hopefully I can do well. Of course, the dice are on my side. Now, were they? Yeah, the Mongolian hills fucked me right up the street. So purple got lucky there. The god of dice was on their side, and I have no more momentum, so I can just move my army into Russia, and that was definitely the correct move to make. But as it turns out, it ended up looking like a mistake because for literally no reason, Russia, or the purple people, I don't know if they can come back. Now here, this is unfair. I don't know where they got the 4 troops from. They didn't deserve any troops because they, you know, have been fucking up a lot. But here they get lucky. They take out 2 provinces in Siberia. And then they try to ruin my hegemony of Alaska, which should be difficult. But, you know, once again, that army gets lucky as shit. And, you know, really fucks my day. Now they're going to go to India and try to go to Afghanistan. And this should not work. No army coming out of India should have any chance in Afghanistan. And here, this is historically accurate. They get fucked. But now they've got this big army. And I've got a good army, you know. It's not like I should win this, but I should definitely do well. So I should definitely take maybe 5 of these guys with me. My guys are firing back, but they're firing high. Whereas their defenders never get screwed. Actually, this was unfair. This is the kind of shit that Hillary Clinton's going to try to do to Donald Trump in the general election. She's going to rig the system against him. And she's going to punish him for being an outsider. Now here, my armies don't do their duty. They don't take anybody with them. You know, this has been my homeland the whole game. And I have no idea why they didn't finish me off in Australia right there. So now I'm going to try to create a hand. I've got the universal card, so I can do that. And I control these territories, so I figured, you know, I should be getting a lot of shit for my trouble here. But I only got 2 extra armies. But I did get 40 total new armies. So, this should be it. Except it isn't. So, like I said, the cards are unpredictable, and the cards tend to favor the shitty factions. So obviously I have to close out Alaska, so I'm going to need to put a, respectable army there. And just to make sure I put 6 armies there, which may seem excessive, but I assure you that it was a wise move. And then I'm going to come out of the Middle East like Alexander the Great, going east, and finish off the whole shebang. Now, unfortunately, I didn't position myself in a position to take out that concentration of 12 armies, which was ultimately my undoing, but I decided to go back to defending on a 1-to-1 basis, and that obviously... But here I'm definitely glad I used as many armies as I did, because, this is somewhere where the purple got lucky consistently. Now my army is basically depleted, but it has a couple more attacks on it. Let's see if I can penetrate back into Siberia. No. So that army was a massive disappointment. I gained 1 territory, lost 5 battalions. So that was a bad investment, but I did regain my territorial complete control of North America. I hear my Grand Army's coming in, and wow, they're also off to a rough start. They only went 1-for-1 when they had 30-to-1 advantage. And now I gotta decide what I want to do. Because this is when I realized my mistake in deployment. But as I've pointed out before, a tactical error is not a good strategy. So I decided to sweep up Asia and hope for the best. But of course, the game decides to punish me. It takes me 4 lost battalions to take measly Vietnam. The place where the people there, even though they're supposedly so brave, they have historically, fundamentally failed to defend their own territory against outside invasion. So, how bold are they? Not very. Now there, what I should have done is sweep down and take out that army of 12. That way depriving my enemies of a field army at all. But I was afraid of them getting, another army like 5 and just taking over Asia randomly and then having to mop that bullshit up. So I decided to go, for the full sweep of Asia on my own. Kamchatka. Why don't they just call it vodka land? That's what they should call it. Because you live there, it's cold enough. Like, that's all you're going to do is drink vodka. That's why the people there never accomplish things. You never hear of great Russian musicians or artists coming out of, like, eastern Siberia. I mean, it's a cold, frozen shithole. People there are uninspired and unimaginative because they have no incentive. And due to the communist values of Russia, after many, many decades of, influence, they just don't have a work ethic anymore. And they don't want to overcome their circumstances. So I've got this one, right? They only have 13 armies in 2 provinces, and it should be over for them. And maybe I could have just risked the attack and seen if I could have gone, gotten lucky and overcome the odds. But instead I decide, you know what, I'm just going to move my army down into Mongolia, and I'll be in a good position to defend any movement they try to make out of that region. Now here, they have cards. You're about to see the biggest shitload of fuck you've ever seen in your life. So, they get 28 armies for nothing. And they end up building a massive army in Indonesia and invading. So this is like the new jihad. Because Indonesia is full of fucking Muslims. So this is the jihad. They had too many babies, they all became Islamists, and they're invading my territory. Now, at first, my armies are trying to put up a good resistance, but then things quickly go to shit. And I will be critical of their strategy here. The enemy failed to totally capitalize. What they should have done is taken 1 province in every continent, so that way deprive me of all the bonuses. But instead, they meander a bit and don't do that as well as they could. Because they could have been able to get stuff in Africa, South America, and North America, but instead they waste their momentum trying to conquer Europe. Now, as I understand, but apparently the computer doesn't, just because you have the place where they produce the best soldiers, Europe or America, doesn't mean you're winning this game. Actually, this game is very racist. This game assumes that men in the southern climates are better because it favors people who go to shitholes like Australia and Africa rather than people who play in the north. Now here my army actually starts out doing a pretty decent defense. They're holding their own. But now they just start fucking up. Their marksmanship goes to shit. Now it's 9-2. It started out as much more favorably. There they get 2 hits, 7-2. Now we're back in it, 5-2, so it seems like we're coming back. 4-1, that's bad, but we're in it. 3-1, we're still in it. Nope. So they managed to splash us right at the last minute. But I am happy that my army was able to, whittle down that army and it wasn't completely collapsed earlier. But they just got plain lucky. Their army should have been too tired from that involved battle. So now, now they got a lot of continuous territory. Now they got their chance to cross into South America. They just conquered, West Africa. But instead, they go back into Europe and start dicking around. So they had the opportunity to work their way into North America and therefore deprive me of having all the continents. And they totally fucked it up. But again, that's computer intelligence for you. And now my troops make a good stand. They whittle down their numbers some. But isn't it also cheap to just go for undefended territory? I mean, this is it's such a democratic thing to do. But of course, my defenders of Europe, they know they're on the winning teams. They're eager to curry favor with me. And that's something Trump will have to learn how to do when American troops are outnumbered, is he has to make it be where there's a good award for going out there and standing up for your country. It can't be like under Obama where soldiers are looked down upon and criticized. But here, even still, they can still make it to America, right? So even though they're fucking up, their general strategy here was smart, even if it's dickish and cheap. But had they followed what I would have done, then they could have made a comeback in the game. Now, obviously, I would be flexible enough to undermine that comeback, as with some of Donald Trump's nature. But, they could have made the game a little more interesting, even though it should have been over a long time ago. The card thing is bullshit. Now they start getting lucky, though. After running into problems in Europe, they start cutting through Canada like it's full of Ted Cruz supporters. And, once you're only 4-1, you're just getting lucky if you don't take a hit. So now they're going to the eastern U.S. You'd think there'd be some good leadership here, but nope, they just get fucked. So all the good Texans and Southerners just don't hold up. Now they're going to Mexico, and it's like, come on. That's predictable. The Mayans and Aztecs aren't around now for a reason. So I only get 9 armies because they did fuck me pretty well. And I only have 2 cards, so I can't get anything else. So now I gotta figure out, how do I undo the damage that's already been done? So basically what I'm doing is a cartel strategy. I'm putting the bulk of my effort into reclaiming America, and I've got an army already going in Russia, so I'm going to reinforce that and try to use it to regain Africa. So I have 2 modest armies and my 1 big army of 18 is out of position for reasons we already are aware of. Now, fortunately, even though they were raised in the jungle, these men know how to fight apparently, so they managed to take Mexico back to the win. And they also get me the eastern U.S. again. So the Blue Empire is coming back. Let's go to Ontario, the home of Bret the Hitman Hart. And we take that without loss. Hitman's old, he's got knee replacements, not much you can do. Let's go to Quebec, which is a pretty queer-ass place. And unlike a lot of queer-ass places in this game, it doesn't overperform. They do exactly what they need to and get their asses whipped. Because, the combination of French and Canadian, if that makes for a bad soldier, nobody should be surprised. So there, I've reunited America. And I'm going to try for Iceland, and here's where my heart gets broken. This is why I really felt this place early in the game. Because Iceland, for whatever reason, is an extremely difficult place to take. Now, in real life, Iceland's like this flat, almost uninhabited place where, like, 10 people live, so it wouldn't have been a problem. And here I gotta decide, do I go for the Asia sweep, or do I try to secure Africa? And in retrospect, I should have just, the reason why I didn't secure Asia is because I already got that army there, which will be ready to go next turn. So I decided instead to play it safe, and, go for Africa, I believe. But hopefully I'll make a move in a minute and confirm what I just guessed. Come on now. TikTok. I don't remember why I was delaying so much. Like, what the fuck was I doing? Okay. There we go. Yeah, I must have paused. Alright, so... So I decided to play it safe and secure Africa before I cut off Western Europe. Western Europe, of course, like I explained earlier, is the key to holding Africa. Now, time for Western Europe, and hopefully I can get a little further, right? And hopefully, if the dice go my way, I can get extra territory. And let's go to good old Britannia. That'll cut off those bastards in Iceland. Yes. So now I have separated their territory in 2 different ways. And now let's see if I can, just close off the little salient I created. But of course not, because Iceland is the home of the Vikings, so they held out. So, if I do say so myself, that was a pretty brilliant territorial defense. That's definitely not something that your average Risk player can pull off. That takes a lot of skill and experience. So let's see, they, that time, did not manage to get a massive reinforcement. And my defenders do their job and hold out against the mighty Iceland army. But of course, they decided to go for the cheap, let's put 1 extra brigade everywhere and hope, just hope for the best, and 2 on 1s. So they took Scandinavia. Now they're going to go for the Ukraine, coming out of Afghanistan. Good luck with that, but they somehow pull it off. And they're going to try to fuck up my control of Africa. But fortunately, my troops hold, and besides, I not only have Africa, I also have South America and North America, so I can get pretty substantial reinforcements. So I got 20 dudes, and I've got 3 cards. And again, I don't understand the cards, so I wasn't able to get anything out of those. But I do have 20 armies to mess with. So what to do with them, though? How do I best finish off the enemy? So I already got 1 army that can go and deal with Australia. So I need to build up a grand army to deal with everything else. Now what I should have done is place it in Greenland. But, Britain works fine as a base as well. And I decided to put almost all my reinforcements in that army. And then, give 1 more troop to China, so that way, when the Chinese army sweeps down into Australia, there can be no more surprises. So here we overrun Vietnam, and it folds like the little jungle shithole that it is. And now we're off to the races to reclaim my original homeland of the bottom corner. So now I'm rooting the terrorists out of their stronghold, and I'm doing with the jihad that broke out and spread across the globe, and spread that purple commie weird bullshit. And now, the Muslims are fighting back, but it's to no avail. I've mustered too many men. There are too many good capitalists out there who are willing to fight for freedom. The Aboriginals in Australia managed to win a victory there, but I overcame them. Now it's time to overrun West Australia. Also because I have the skills. Now, the problem is I got 10 offensive battalions and nowhere to put them, so I just decided to garrison Australia evenly, just for fun. That way, if somehow they paratroop in from somewhere else, they can, not do anything. And now my army of Europe, so I overrun Iceland easily, and now I use Iceland as my base to branch out into the rest of the world. So Scandinavia also falls without a fight, so all the Vikings in this just folded like an accordion before the might and brilliance of my generalship. I'm going into Northern Europe now, and finally the Prussians are showing their manliness, but to no avail. Now it's time for the steppe. And, the Cossacks trade 1 for 1, which is fair enough. Now I'm going to go to the Middle East first, because Afghanistan's a shithole. It doesn't, I don't want to die there and leave the Middle East, and India opens the Middle East. I have restored the terrorist aspect of my empire, and I have taken the oil. Now on the India, looks like I've got curry. And last and definitely least, isolated ass Afghanistan. So let's see what happens where I can happen. They get one guy, but I win. So it leaves me with another extra army of 10. But I don't have to deploy them because, I won. So that's how you win. And that is how someone like Donald Trump can overcome his disadvantage at being someone who doesn't have military experience in order to become a good commander-in-chief. He can play games of this nature, which will train him in the art of war and the art of strategy. So this has been Remarkable Republican, bringing you the truth with truth-flavored bias, and I'm glad that I was able to educate the public on this topic. Good night, everybody.